Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's Sal and Bart.
Sal and
Bart here from Trio Stories. We're so happy to have you in yet another studio.
We're going back to our filmmaking roots with a classic mobile short film.
So Xiaomi asked us to create a short film for Xiaomi Studios Poland using just their Mi 10T Pro.
Xiaomi Studios is a creative project which brings together creators from all over the world and gives them the opportunity to use Xiaomi equipment to create short films.
This is Xiaomi Poland's first ever studios project, so we are very honoured.
It's big. We're talking big things.
Big things.
Today we're going behind the scenes of Home by Trio Stories. That's us. The gear, the idea, the settings we used, a little bit of an editing breakdown and some frequently asked questions. We're excited, hopefully you're excited, so it's time to roll the film.
Action.
Roll it now. Roll it please. Someone roll the film. Czuć się jak w domu. Co to właściwie znaczy? Czy w ogóle można tak naprawdę czuć się jak w domu, kiedy wszystko ciągle się zmienia? Świat nie zatrzymuje się ani na chwilę. Czy dom to miejsce, gdzie czuję się sobą? Gdzie czuję się bezpiecznie? Co w sumie czujemy w domu? Znalazłem miejsce, które nie przestaje mnie inspirować. Gdy ty takie znajdziesz, poczujesz się jak w domu.
Okay, so we're gonna kick things off with the filming portion of this short film, and we're gonna start with the idea. The idea.
As the first ever Xiaomi Studios production for Poland, we really wanted to start things off with a boom. So we came up with the idea of Home, and the script would give us the opportunity to show off some beautiful cinematic locations in the north of Poland, whilst at the same time telling a story which is actually very close to our hearts and sharing the love that we have for the Tri-City.
We always get asked, why do you live in Poland? This video is essentially an answer to that. We get to show off the beautiful area that we live in and the varied scenery that we get to experience and how it inspires us as creators with the changing atmospheres and environments such as the forest, the beach, the city, the old town, the history, and it's incredible. It's an incredible place, and yeah, it was really important to us to show this off. Meaningful.
Deep. Onto the gear. You know we love talking about gear, but this time it's a much simpler discussion. We're shooting this on the Mi 10T Pro and the Zhiyun Crane M2. I'm actually on the other side of the camera for most of this short film. I'm the main actor. Maybe a career change, we'll see.
I don't think so.
Bit nasty.
This was all shot on the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro.
That's it, yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind when I say that this is an incredible tool for creators. We were blown away by the shots. I remember getting back after the first time we used it and throwing the clips onto the timeline, and I could not believe that they were from a phone. The depth of field, the 8K, the log, it's just incredible.
An absolute beast when it comes to cinematic filmmaking. We only use the native built-in app, which offers plenty of manual controls and sort of creative functionality. So yeah.
Really, really blown away. Of course, to get that cinematic look, we used an ND filter with a bit of a homemade rig. We managed to pick up a really affordable filter mount for the phone. But yeah, absolutely, you need an ND filter to be able to keep the correct shutter speed and really get the most out of the phone for filmmaking.
Quick tip there as well, if you're doing mobile filmmaking, we definitely recommend a variable ND filter. You don't want to be faffing and taking off different grades of NDs. With a variable ND, you can quickly adjust it to where you want, and we found that to be very useful on the shoots.
We use the 62mm Gobe filter, and it's perfect.
Something that Sal will forever stand by, and for good reason, when it comes to mobile filmmaking, is a gimbal.
It's not necessary by any means, and in fact our last short film was done completely handheld, but for this I think it really made a difference. And one of the things I actually like it for, more so than just being able to walk and get smooth motion, is in fact just the horizon leveling.
There's nothing that screams amateur more than a crooked horizon. But for many of the shots, we wanted specific motion, so for us it was a necessity.
A specific example of this is with the Xiaomi on the Xion M2.
Xion Crane,
whatever, it's a gimbal. We were able to walk down the centre of Gdansk Old Town and get a sort of simulated hyperlapse.
Time to get a little bit more geeky with the settings. By far, I think our favourite setting was the 4K 30 frames per second in log.
The dynamic range is incredible with the log. Whilst it may not be as flat as, for example, a professional DSLR's log, it did remove that extra saturation that phones usually add to make things look great straight out of camera. So this enables you to play with the colours a little bit more in post. It allowed us to give it a really quite matte cinematic look.
We also used the 8K setting for a number of shots, which was amazing for the ability to crop in a little bit, or just downsample it for extra resolution and extra sharpness.
We also used a lot of 4K 60 for some slow motion stuff.
It ain't a film if there's no 4K 60. Simple as that.
Well on. For the majority of the shots, we also favoured the main 108 megapixel camera because of its quality. It was just unmatched. But we did use a few ultra wide lens shots for those really establishing location.
Yeah.
Big metropolitan.
That modern metropolitan look.
To make Bart look like a small man in a big place.
Apart from the gear, the idea, and the settings, the most important thing in this production was the timings.
Almost all of it was shot at either sunrise or sunset, with the majority at sunrise.
It was painful, that's for sure, but it did allow us to get these unusually empty scenes and get the best of the light.
Yeah, in the sunrise hours, you get a much softer, creamier, calm look. And then at sunset, you've got that classic, lovely golden hour light where you get some flares in. And
I like to call them the cinematic hours.
Yeah. There is actually some as well at blue hour at the train station, which was also great because you've still got that leftover light. It gives you the nighttime look without shooting in full darkness.
Yeah.
The most important thing for this particular short film is location. Location was everything for a film that is about
the place.
Location.
Yes. Through the space of about 20 seconds, we go through like 4 or 5 different locations.
The amount of like travel time and different days and
preparations and planning
everything for just 20 seconds of footage was just crazy.
They were all filmed in the north of Poland, in the region surrounding the Tri-City. The majority was filmed in Gdańsk, but we went as far as the peninsula and Hell, which is a strange geographical place.
But the most important thing with this is location scouting. For example, one morning we were searching for the best place that we could find shots of the shipyard skyline, and a quick jump on Instagram, we were able to find the perfect bridge, which was leading up to
the cranes in the
incredible
background.
skyline.
Yeah.
So yeah, Instagram is a great place for that, and also just Google Maps, you can find some really beautiful spots. Eliminating luck is the most important thing about being a filmmaker.
Truth.
Okay, let's hit up some editing, where the magic happens.
We're going to start off with the audio engineering. I'm going to hand you over to our audio engineer herself.
And editing engineer.
And editing engineer. And filmmaker. I'm just there for decoration.
I actually love messing around with audio. It adds so much depth and immersion for the viewer. It's really powerful. I have quite a cool tip for you here when it comes to audio editing. I would recommend to silence the music and just create the audio tracks for the short film and make it sound good without any music. If it sounds good without music, it's going to sound even better when you add the music. Whilst we're on the topic of audio, may as well discuss the music.
We found two different versions, a more sort of cinematic and softer version, and then a more dancey version with more separate beats. We kind of wanted the best of both worlds. So I actually went into the editing and managed to merge the two together and really make it fit our project.
It's a really important skill to turn the music you have into the music you want. So I guess one of the most intriguing portions when it comes to editing is the fast-paced sequence that follows the drop of the song. And the purpose of this was to be a little bit disorientating, show loads of different locations and loads of different motions and movements happening, to show the variation that inspires us in our home.
So in a way, it was the answer to the question, and the editing needed to reflect that.
Apart from the hyperlapses, the majority of shots were still or simple pan shots that weren't actually intended when filming to be fast-paced. But actually, to achieve this fast-paced sequence, I used a lot of speed ramps, masks, motion blur, and just simple transform and crops to imitate motion.
And this led to creating a kind of flow through the film.
I'm actually really pleased with the way that I managed to achieve that motion with some of the shots. Like, for example, the shot where you're on the bridge standing still and the cranes are moving behind you. I used a smoke overlay to look like some fog was going past, and that was moving left. And then the shot after was moving past some trees as well left. And that fog helped bring you into the next shot. And stuff like that just helps to keep the flow rather than a simple cut. My final comment here with regards to the editing is creative collaboration. Every time I watch one portion of it, it was different than how I imagined it. But I had to give up that creative control because it was a language thing. How I wanted it to be and what I wanted it to say in English didn't actually work in Polish. So I had to give up that creative
vision
and let Bart run with the idea. And that's actually something that's really important and a big step in a development of a creator. So we're just going to run through a few frequently asked questions that we were asked by different people who've seen the film so far. Please let us know if you have any more below and we'll do our best to answer them. First one's first, are the colours really edited and enhanced? No.
The simple answer is no. Although we did film in log, this profile is nowhere near as flat as a pro camera. So the colour enhancement actually ended up going both ways. In some cases we needed to bring up the contrast and saturation, and in others we needed to bring down because the phone was already inputting quite a lot of contrast and saturation.
There is very minimal colour enhancements in editing. There's a few corrections and slight changes, but that's purely creative.
That's that one. Next.
Do you need any other equipment other than a phone to make a film like this? No.
The key aspect to these kind of short films is the storyline. If you have a unique idea with enough kind of vision and detail to make it happen, the quality and the kind of limitations of just using a phone are going to be really negligible.
When you're starting out, don't worry about the gear. If you want to take it to the next level, like we said in the intro, we recommend an ND filter. This will enable you to use the correct shutter speed, and it'll give your shots a way more professional and cinematic edge. Then if you want to invest in more, then you can use a gimbal. But again, it's not completely necessary. It's just going to level up what you've already got and enhance the story you can tell.
Gear like that is often also a creative choice. If you're making a chaotic horror movie, you might not want a gimbal at all. You want to have that handheld shaky look. So make sure that you're not upgrading gear just for the sake of it, but you have a reason in mind.
Next up, why have you used a Canon camera in a Xiaomi advert? This has been a contentious one. The truth is, this is not an advert for Xiaomi. This is a short phone using the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro.
It isn't to create product placement and be a direct advert. My character, just like myself, I guess I'm playing a cameo, is a professional photographer, so therefore he is using a DSLR. It's as simple as that. And we did actually, well, Sal did very skillfully apply a mask over any of the Canon branding.
Yeah. How do I go about getting into mobile filmmaking?
Good question.
Just start. Just pick up your phone and give it a go. The way that we started getting into filmmaking was simply through filming our holidays and travels.
Using a phone, GoPro, anything we had, and yeah.
So just pick up the camera, pick up the phone, and give it a go. So, final question. How long did it take to make?
Well, the filming took place over the course of just over a week, but every time it was probably 2 to 3 hours max, because we were filming in those golden hour.
Yeah, sunrise, sunsets. We were just went out on little missions on each day.
Yeah. And then in editing, it didn't actually take that long because we had such a precise plan.
Yeah, we'd already created quite a specific shot list and flow of the story. So the editing process was more of an assembly and then sort of those fine editing tweaks.
So I would say it took no longer than a week in total.
Yeah.
What would you say about that? That wraps it up for the questions.
And that wraps it up for everything, I think. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you loved our short film.
We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed the breakdown. Hopefully learnt something as well about the process. Maybe you can see that it's not so scary and go and do it yourself. We would love to see your mobile short films.
Let us know if you have any questions about the short or editing process.
And we'd love to chat to you anyway, so...
Yeah, we like you.
Yeah. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like on the vid and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more of this content.
Yes, we are English-Polish duo living in Poland but also in England.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Creators, we're creators.
Creators, and we'll see you in the next video.
We're really good at YouTube.
Bye.
Shoot like a pro.